Hey guys, this is Emmy Fisher here with Navy Nomad. I know I haven't put up a video in a while, but that's because, as you may know, if you've heard me on chats for premieres and other things that I've been watching, I'm in the process of moving. So this setup is actually at my new apartment. Now, the sound might not be as good because the sound bounces off the walls a lot more here. But we won't have to deal with that ridiculously annoying fridge buzzing in the background, so that's nice. There's a fish tank in the room, but I've temporarily turned off the filter for that so that it doesn't make that buzzing noise either. So this is going to be the new setup for the foreseeable future. Now, I recently restarted a game on Ragnarok, but not in Primitive Plus because I've been having a lot of problems with Ragnarok crashing on Primitive Plus. Things seem to be going pretty well on this map, the regular Ragnarok map, for a while, but it has also started crashing periodically. I'm beginning to think that the crashing thing is just a Ragnarok issue. It might be because, I don't know, the map is so huge or just so much data that it just can't handle itself from time to time. I'm not entirely sure. But in any case, I'm not entirely sure what the problem is, so I guess we'll just have to deal with it somehow, whatever comes. So any Ragnarok builds might take a little bit longer to get out because of having to deal with that issue. I have been using the cheat save world cheat for that. I don't normally like to use cheats too much on Ark unless I absolutely have to. But when your game is crashing, I don't think the save world cheat, the force save, is really a cheat if it's required to make sure that you maintain any progress that you've made. But in any case, this is a starter base video. I originally started this to do historical builds and just sort of small one-player PvE builds, because a lot of the builds out there I see are either for large tribes or multiplayers or PvP, which is not my shtick, and everything just was so big and so time consuming, and I wanted to see, let's do some tiny bases, let's do some small ones, so you don't really need that much room. So we are, can we come in here? Alright, we are in one of my favorite areas to start in. So Viking Bay is right over here, and these are sort of these grassy plateaus up right next alongside the Viking Bay, in between Viking Bay and the jungle area along the coast. So we are at about 17, 27, 28, something like that. I'll go ahead and show you whereabouts we are. Did not plan to have this many teams originally, but that's what we're dealing with here. Okay, so here is Viking Bay over here, as you can see. You can find there's a spawn point that's actually like right down in this little area down here. This little peninsula right down there is where I built that big Tudor main base on my Ragnarok Primitive Plus. So that might look familiar to you. Jungle's right up here, but what you've got up here, we've got these beautiful sort of, they're almost kind of like Africa or the Mediterranean, but you've got this sort of little grassy plateau area right here, and it's really beautiful because there's this river that runs through it from that waterfall up there in the jungle, and so you've got this nice little sort of canyon with these green trees and water right there, and it's not in direct sunlight, and then it comes out into this, beautiful little area with a tree and then drops right off into the ocean. So it's a very beautiful area. It's also extremely safe. The biggest thing that actually spawns down here is going to be a dilo on occasion. And aside from things occasionally falling down from the jungle, which at this point all I've experienced are a couple of saber-tooths, it's relatively safe. You can ignore that build over there. That's going to be in a future video. I'm really excited for that. I'll give you a sneak peek of that at the end of this episode. But in any case, what I did here is you just have this little entrance right along here. I kind of follow this rocky gravel area. It's like little path. I walled that off. I've only built it about 2 walls high because once again there's not really anything big that has made it down here. It's mostly small stuff. So unless there's like an allosaur that falls down from above or something, which I'm not too worried about at this point. This is sort of a nice area here. Now, this is all completely walled off up here. Yeah, stuff can fall down from over here. But this also spawns coelacanths. So you've got fishing available to you as long as you don't disturb the water. And you've got this beautiful, just sort of canyon that runs straight through here. And this does come out to that little plateau area here, and there's a parasource up there. And it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful view. It's a beautiful sort of little secluded, safe spot. You've got rare flowers everywhere over here as well, so that's useful. But let me go ahead and show you what I've got in here. So I do a thing where I can clip into the terrain and I can have collisions. If you're on official, then you don't necessarily have to do that. You can always change the roof around. But basically, the main plan for this is it's two foundations by 1, 2, 3. And we have this extra one that comes out the side here. This is the bedroom, as you can see. And that's just kind of the bed in there. I've got a storage box and my little campfire in here. There is a catwalk here because on this side you can put, because the way the roof worked out, normally I would do this 2 stories high so I could block off the roof and you wouldn't see all this. But sometimes things that are 2 stories high just seem too tall and imposing for me, and I wanted something that really sort of blended into the landscape. So this one's only 1 story high. I don't mind having that little area there, but I'm going to build a couple of storage boxes that you can pop right on top of catwalks. It's a great way to get double level storage without necessarily having to build a 2nd floor. So catwalks are great for that, and I'll show you. Actually, I can show you that right now. I think I've got the materials to build a couple of these things in here, maybe. Wood. So I'll just show you that while it's crafting. Okay, so we're going to want to sort of just line this up on either side. Boom, there you go, extra storage. Alright. This is the workshop area. I've determined that it takes 1 foundation approximately to put 2 foundries here, or whatever you call these forges. Refining forge. Sorry, I'm going back to those Sierra games like Zeus and Poseidon. Foundry, it's a foundry. Anyway, a place where you smelt. And it takes 1 foundation for a smithy, and you just want to make sure that you have enough maneuvering space for that. I really recommend putting the smithy close enough to the forges so that you can actually not have to move in between them, because sometimes when you're transferring metal it gets really heavy and you can't move. And then you have to make a lot of trips and that's annoying. So you don't want to do that, but anyway, there's that. So this is a 2 by 2 basically here. We've got our front door here. This opens up to actually a little side patio here. This was originally going to be a couple of like stalls for maybe a couple of Phiomia or raptors, but I ended up turning it into sort of an outdoor patio work area instead. I'm going to plan to put like a little campfire here and a couple of chairs, and it fit right up against this tree here, which just looked really nice. This is 2 regular foundations, and then we had 3 triangle foundations here to make the curved sides. My mortar and pestles are out here. Once again, this is not Primitive Plus, so I'm making do with that. I was going to originally do a non-Primitive Plus game and just spawn in Primitive Plus stuff, but it's crashing here too, so I think it's just Ragnarok. I like having 3 mortars and pestles on a table because that way you can, this one is for drugs, this one is for spark powder and gunpowder, and this one is for paste, cementing paste. Got our little fridge thing, preserving bin out here. I do like to park smaller flyers on top of my roofs. This is something I developed when I was over in Scorched Earth with Lamantrias. Normally there's 2 or 3 pteranodons parked up here. I went on a pteranodon taming spree because I got a couple of them killed by raptors over in the jungle, and I was like, I need to have more pteranodons. Now I have way too many pteranodons. I've got a bunch of argents too. I wasn't planning on getting those. Those were sort of accidental tames. I came across them in a situation. Like there were 2 Argent Davis that were attacking a T-Rex over there in Viking Bay, and one of them died, but the Argent Davis also managed to defeat the other Rex, so I guess it wasn't very high level. But I figured that would be a great place to just jump out and trank it. That ended up being really complicated because it landed in a not very smart area, so I had to chase some allosaurs away from it and kill those too. It was annoying. So I've got way more flyers than planned. Pelagornis just kind of landed right next to me. I was like, okay. But that's the base of that. Now what I've done on the side here, through here, is I continued the foundations here. And this is my little outdoor coop area. I've got the males parked over here. I just use them for poo, basically, for fertilizer. And I've got these here, so that'll protect them against any sort of small creature that comes this way. This enclosed area here is for the females. They are up on the bench so that the eggs just fall down like so. And you can pick them up without accidentally picking them up. This is something that I discovered kind of independently on my own. I had an idea. I know I've seen it on somebody else's channel though, and I'm trying to remember who it is. It might be Aaron Longstaff's, so maybe that. If you watch Art Builds, you've seen his stuff probably. If you haven't, go check it out. It's amazing. But I think I've seen him do that. But it's just sort of one of those things that you kind of figure out after you've pissed yourself off by picking up Jodos too many times when you didn't want to and you're trying to pick up eggs. And then what I got out here is I just kind of followed the side of this river here. That's where I had some torches for hatching pteranodons. And I just kind of enclosed off the side as a little mini corral. I've got pteranodons back here right now that are gaining levels so I can level them up in weight because they're faster than Argies. I've got a bunch of jerboas over there. I'm not sure how they ended up in that corner, but they're all over there. I've got this lovely tree in the middle. My parasaurs up in front to help protect against anything that wants to get into the corral. Because if you level those things up in health and stuff, they can actually protect against most smaller predators. I've got my little Phoeniotrops there, a couple of Dilos on turret mode. But yeah, that is your basic sort of small, tiny, I guess you would call it tiny for Urk, built solo player. You've got your workshop, working area, bedroom, storage, outer sort of corral. You could put a gate here if you wanted. I didn't want to obstruct the view of the trees and the sky and stuff. Those gates are, no, they're in the grass. Of course, I turn off the sound and we've got people mowing the lawn. I apologize for that. I'm going to pause the video real quick until he gets past. Alright, so he's finally done mowing the lawn about 15 minutes later. That was really, I'll have to remember that at this point on Saturdays when they mow the lawn. Alright, anyway, so I don't necessarily remember what I was talking about, but anyway, I was talking about, I could put a gate here, but I didn't really want to obstruct the view of the trees. I love these trees. These trees are very familiar to me. I live in Arizona, okay, southern Arizona. It's very Mediterranean down here. So these remind me of like those kind of acacia trees or something like that. We have mesquite trees here and Palo Verdes. I have yet to see a Palo Verde in Ark, but these kind of remind me of, acacias. We've got several acacias here. So they're very beautiful to me. But you could wall this off if you wanted to, if you were worried more about pests getting in. I haven't really had a problem with that. Of course he stopped mowing and now it's nighttime. Great. But anyway, that is your basic sort of build there. I do highly recommend, if you're in an area where you don't have large predators, to use your roof initially as storage for flyers. And I guess I'm gonna stop the video here and wait for night to pass, and then I'll give you a sneak peek of what we're gonna see happening. Oh, you can see my window in the back. That's pretty funny. Sneak peek on what you're gonna be seeing next, probably. Thanks. That's the way to end the video. There you go, Pelagornis. Pooh. Alright, so night has passed. I feel like I should start singing "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning." But I don't like Oklahoma. I never have. It's too terrifying, kind of, for me. It's way too close to home. So, yeah, let's not do that. But I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what we're doing here. Now, we are right up on this sort of protrusion above where we built. So there's where the water empties out, and that's a little canyon back there, and you can't really see the base from here, but it's in there, I promise. I've wanted to build like a tower base for a long time, something where you've got like your base down below, and then you've got an aviary up on top to store all of the pteranodons you kind of freaked out taming, and now you've got like 7 of them. Because they're so colorful. I love them. It's like, I want different colors. It's like, ooh, what if I breed this one with that one? What colors am I going to get? I have the same problem with Tabaharas, but I haven't seen one of those yet, so I no doubt I'll be building a Tapahara aviary at some point. Or maybe I'll just make this one big enough to handle, everything. Originally, I was going to make this like a giant, just sort of hexagon, I guess is what it would have been, a hexagon. I don't know. This is a mixture of square and triangle platforms, but I came up with the idea of doing these like little spokes out on the side where I could do like little individual smaller dino storage areas on the side. I also wanted to incorporate a greenhouse, and so I thought, hey, maybe I'll make the greenhouse on the bottom and do like these kind of cool roofs and stuff. But then I came up with the idea of having the miniature sort of dino storage areas in the bottom, and then building up and having the second floor be the glass greenhouse area. And then up from the center is coming this tower, and then you've got a tower for a bit of the greenhouse, and then the aviary sort of splays out on top like an actual tower. So that's kind of the plan I've got for this. We've got 4 separate spokes to build a dino storage. Like one of them will be a dodo pen, one of them will be a pen for my dilos probably. Another one will be a pen for my jerboas. You see how this is going. Sort of hopefully some open area in there as well. Greenhouse on top of that, and then tower rising up with the aviary on top. That's the plan. So I've got the foundation down. I think it looks pretty cool. It's going to look very geometric. And I've got the main opening gate here. I'm going to make the base a mixture of stone and wood, just so that the actual base and foundations can't necessarily be destroyed should something happen to make its way over here. Now this whole thing up here is up on a plateau area, but you can get up. Something that's big enough would be able to get up here. Once again, the biggest carnivore I've seen in this part, this neck of the woods, is a saber-tooth really falling down from above. I know that some aloes and rexes appear over in that area, but they tend to stay up in the jungle or up on the plateaus over there. They don't really make it this far out on the beach, in my experience. These are all labeled as easy starting zones. So anyway, that's what you're going to see me working on next, probably. It's got a beautiful view. And yeah, so that's my next build. Obviously much bigger than the tiny base I just built, but that's my starter base. And I wanted to give you guys some more starter base ideas. So look forward to seeing this in the future. I'll be working on some of that today, this weekend. Hopefully get more videos out now that I'm partially 3/4 of the way moved into my new place. So if you liked this video, please hit that like button, or you can subscribe for future historically themed builds or solo PvE starter base themed builds, anything like that. I generally don't go too big with my builds, so that's kind of the main reason I do this. I don't do the huge stuff. I know a lot of people do. So subscribe if you want to see more of that, and I will see you in a future video. Thanks for watching.